Hi, welcome to Web Development Basics. This is session 1. My name is Elliot Koss. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Tech MBA, and I'm going to be guiding you through Web Development Basics. Now, about this workshop, this is geared towards people that are coming in with zero or very basic web development skills. So, if you've already built something, this is probably going to be too basic for you. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to end up building and launching a simple website. This is going to be more of a landing page, a sign-up page where you can capture emails, where you can ask some questions and get information from forums. Now, it should be fun. It's very possible it's going to be frustrating. Doing web development and anything with programming comes with its own challenges, but it's hopefully also going to be very rewarding. For our schedule, we have 6 sessions. The first one, this one, we're going to be planning out the basic idea. In this case, we're building out a sign-up page, and we're going to be wireframing the page itself with Cuckoo. It's a website. And then we got session 2, basic design. We're going to be using HTML and CSS to actually create the website itself. We're going to use Sublime Text as our text editor. For session 3, we're going to be capturing emails. We're going to use PHP and MySQL, and the software that's going to power that is called XAMPP. Session 4, we're going to integrate social media. So we're going to be having the Facebook and Twitter APIs. Session 5, customer discovery. This is the HTML forms where you're able to actually capture information. And then session 6, we're going to be hosting in the cloud. We're going to be using Amazon Web Services for that. And this will, get you up on your feet and give you a good understanding of web development. So starting off, project management. I call this planning for success. And the reason why is because if you don't come in with a good plan, you're going to struggle. I just love this quote. Weeks of programming can save you hours of planning. If you put the cart before the horse, you're going to waste a lot of time. If you just sit down, plan out for a couple hours, everything else that you do is going to fall in line a lot easier and a lot smoother. So we're going to go through the web development stages. The first one is planning. In every website that you build, planning should be the first thing that you do. You want to know what you're doing before you start doing it. So planning is key. The second thing that you're going to want to do is wireframe. Wireframing allows you to take the plans that you have and to lay them out in a clear way so that you have a good understanding of exactly what it is you're going to build. This gives you a visual tool, so if you don't like the placement of an image or a button or the color of a button or the size, you can just very easily make these changes. As soon as you start programming, as soon as you start putting this online, it becomes more time consuming to make changes. So you want to get things as close as you can during the wireframing stage. And then the next 2 stages, these can be done either one after the other. They can be done simultaneously if you're on a team. They don't necessarily have to be in this order either. Front end, which is generally the HTML and CSS. There's also JavaScript and Ajax, which is Ajax is a little bit of front end and back end. And front end is really just the visual piece of your website, what the user is actually seeing. The back end, PHP and MySQL, that's the database component. That's the component where things can be dynamically changed and updated. That captures things, that does the calculations. That's the true piece of programming for the site itself. And we're going to be going through PHP. Now PHP is used to power WordPress, Shopify, Magento. There's a lot of uses for it. So what we're going to go over when we do end up talking about the back-end piece, what you're going to learn is going to be applicable to a whole lot of different areas. So, and we'll talk about those uses down the road. Now the next stage would be to assemble, to put it all together. Once you have the front end piece and the back end piece, you got to put that together to make sure that it's working properly, and then you launch. But you're not done when you launch. You still have the final phase, which is really a never-ending phase. It's iteration. And this is where you're taking feedback either from customers or from analytics, and you're improving the site. The iteration piece is not something that we're going to go into in too much depth. Hopefully down the road we'll cover that in some additional workshops. Now, project management. Really, it just organizes your timelines. It helps you anticipate challenges, to predict these things, to build in the time, and to better get an idea of what you're going to be accomplishing and when you expect that to be done. Now, project management is constantly moving. In web development, it always takes twice as long as you're expecting. It's not just time, but it's also resources. Things just end up getting a little bit more challenging than is usually expected. So you always want to buffer the time that you're expecting things to take. Now, to be a good project manager and to manage things properly, you need to know what you're trying to accomplish. And part of this is the planning piece, but another piece is understanding the technology, understanding what's possible, and having a good idea of how long things take. Now, when you start planning, there's a couple typical questions that you should ask yourself. The first one being, what do you want to build? Are you trying to build a social media platform? Are you trying to, like the next Facebook or Twitter? Are you trying to build an e-commerce website? Are you trying to build something new that hasn't been built before? Are you building a tool for your company to use to better manage a component of your business? And what will it do? That goes into what you want to build, but it goes to the heart of the question: what are you trying to accomplish? If you're building a tool for instance, let's say you're trying to build a project management tool internally to monitor the 20 or so different projects that you have ongoing at a certain time. You're going to want to sit down and actually figure out what are all the components that you're going to need. Well, you're going to need user accounts, you're going to need project status pages, you're going to need different updates. So you're going to want to go into the nitty-gritty and just figure out all the little pieces of what the site is going to do. And then how will it do it? Once you know kind of what you want to accomplish, it's good to think of, well, how are you planning to accomplish that? What programming languages are you planning to use? What frameworks? What technologies? And this kind of gives you the roadmap so that you can start putting together the plan before you execute. And then how is this going to look? You're going to want to put together a design that makes sense. And when I say make sense, are you more focused on the user experience? And there are some companies that is their main focus. And a lot of web development is very, very much focused on user experience, making it easy, making it something that is intuitive. And it's certainly something that is very highly encouraged. Now, our plan. We're going to build a website that captures emails, and then we're going to ask a few basic questions of the user. And we're going to do this with PHP, MySQL, HTML, and CSS. This is a general vision of our plan. But what does it look like? And that's really where we're going to start. Now, before we start thinking about what our site is going to look like, we need to get some ideas of what we want it to be. Now, you've probably heard this quote. It's been attributed to countless great artists, but good artists copy and great artists steal. What that means is that don't design in a black box. Don't plan in a black box. Don't envision your idea without looking at what is already out there. With that in mind, we should look at inspiration. We should find other websites that we like. Now, I like to look at other websites, and very big on Google. If you want to find something, just type it into Google, and you're going to be able to find pretty much anything that you want. Now, what we see here is that just did a quick Google search of the best website designs, and first thing up is a website that has a lot of really good designs. Now, we can go to the sites and we can look at them and we can draw inspiration. A lot of sites, they have the menu up the top. This has some interactive components. You scroll down, there's more information. The page is very clean. There's some layover images. There's a lot. There's a lot going on visually. It's very clean. It's very simple. So this is, if you want your site to look something like this, this could be a good example for you to look at. But there's countless others, and you can look at any website that you want to get an idea of what you'd like to create. So you should just take some time, go online, and mess around. See what you like, see what you don't like. This will give you ideas of what you want to create. Now, once you've gone through and you've looked at a couple websites, you probably have a better idea of what you're trying to build. Now, a tool that we're going to use is Twitter Bootstrap. And using templates can be really helpful for getting started, for creating a clean design, and for creating what you want very fast and very efficiently. Now, this is Twitter Bootstrap, and we're going to talk about it a lot more when we get to HTML and CSS. But these are some templates that you can freely use. You can go on to Twitter Bootstrap and identify the design that you want, and you'll be able to actually use the source code to create the framework for your website. So those are a couple resources that you can use. Now, what I'm going to suggest is that something that I personally do, is something that I know a lot of other web developers do, is that before you really start doing development, I like to draw. I like to use a pen and paper. It's really one of the easiest ways to just get through the bad ideas so that you can get to your good ones. And this goes very, very quickly. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and take out a piece of paper and let's draw.